the subject once. If you've already spoken about a person, again, you will not take the person's name. You will use the pronoun he or she. Okay. Now, what is a simple sentence? A simple sentence contains one subject, one verb or a verb phrase. So an independent clause is a simple sentence. She reads, she obtained her degree. All this is one simple sentence. Subject and the verb. Okay. Okay, compound sentence. Okay, this is at least two independent clauses, and it can be combined with a comma, semicolon, or a coordinating junction. I'll give you an example for this. So what is a compound sentence? At least two independent clauses, and these clauses can be combined with a comma, semicolon, or a coordinating conjunction. What is a coordinating conjunction? And all of these. Okay, so she completed her literature review. I'm giving you an example. She completed her literature review. It is an independent clause. She created her reference list. Is also a independent. So she completed her literature review and she created her reference list. So these are two independent sentences, and I'm joining them together with and. Okay, got it? Okay, so complex sentence, at least one independent and one dependent clause. One independent and one dependent clause. If a sentence begins with a dependent clause, dependent is what? An incomplete. If a sentence begins with a dependent clause, there would be a comma after the clause. Although I prefer pizza. Although I like pasta, comma, I prefer pizza. Understood? If the sentence begins with an independent clause, then there wouldn't be a comma. And also another time when you use comma is when you just want to have like a small pause or a break without having a full stop. You all must have come up with sentences like that. You all want to have a small pause or a break. Instead of having a continuous thing, you will just put a comma to give the reader like just pause here for a second and then continue. Comma, yeah. Yes. However, also comma. However, it's because see here begins with. If a sentence begins with a dependent clause, so when you are beginning with a dependent clause, you will have a comma. So, however, is a dependent clause. So most of the time, you will use a comma. Although she completed her literature review. It is allowed, it is in creative, it is permitted, but you need to what do you say? You need to know that your reader is in sync to the previous sentence and it has like a continuation, but you're not completely breaking off. Most of the times I start a sentence with and. And when you begin with the dependent clause, see, although she completed her literature review, she still needed to work on her methods section. So you will have a comma to break this, although she completed her literature review. Then last we have compound complex. At least 2 independent clauses and 1 dependent clause. Again, the same example. She completed her literature review, but needs to work on her methods section, even though she finished her methods course last semester. So I've joined all of this with coordinating conjunctions, which is but and even though. Okay. And when do you use a semicolon? See, for example, what are colons? The 2 dots, those are colons. So colons and hyphen is a small dash. It can be interchanged and interused. So colons and semicolons can be used for further explanation. You've got the comma part, right? Now I'm talking about colon and hyphen. It can be used for further explanation, which is an example. We covered many of the fundamentals in our class, and instead of saying and those were, instead of saying directly, I can say we covered many of the fundamentals in our class with a hyphen or with a colon, and I can say grammar, punctuation style, keyword planner, all of this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then another example. My roommate gave the thing I needed the most, and instead of saying and that was and it was whatever, directly put hyphen or colon and say friendship and companionship. Okay, this one. So when do you use a semicolon? If you have 2 independent clauses that are connected without a conjunction, that is when you use a semicolon. Example, I have painted the house, semicolon, because there is no conjunction here. I still need to set it up. I have painted the house, then you will put semicolon. I still need to set it up. So without a conjunction, you will separate the 2 independent clauses by having a semicolon. Clear? Yeah. And you want to separate 2 sentences without using conjunction.